had to pick up.
Okay.
Good morning at home.
Okay guys, Q&A time. I've never done this before. I have not really previewed the questions too much, which hopefully just means I'll be giving like raw, honest answers and not that I'll just be stammering around for a long time trying to think of things to say. But thanks for all the questions. It's so fun to see what your questions are. You can chime in if you have anything to add. Or you can come sit with me for a few minutes if you feel like
Did you need me? Did you really need me for some questions?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. You want to be on my video? Okay. Do you see the camera up there? Okay, guys. So I recorded answers to all the questions before Izzy's nap time. And then got up. Yep. Got up, looked at the camera, and found out it wasn't recording for most of it. So, another reason I really need a new vlogging camera. But I'm just going to go through them again, hopefully quickly. We have to make this kind of fast because we have a birthday dinner tonight for my dad. So, I'm going to keep these answers, going to try to keep them concise. Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe Ez can help me. Maybe James will help me too. Okay, first question. Where are you guys from?
Yeah.
Do you know where we live? Can you say Hutchinson? Kansas. Yeah, we live in Kansas. So, middle of the state, middle of the USA. We really like it here. And then there were quite a few like overlap questions, so I didn't organize these. But one question I got a lot. I might skip over some of them if they're too similar, but like, are you naturally positive? Another person said, how do you combat depression when you feel miserable? You always seem so chipper. Are you always so positive and happy? I aspire to be more like you in that area. Yeah, so I think naturally my personality does tend to focus like on the positives. I think sometimes I can be too optimistic, and I have a tendency to just kind of push away negative feelings or negative thoughts, which sometimes it's like, it can definitely be a blessing and it can definitely be unhealthy sometimes. Actually, James has been really good for me in this area because he's, I'd say, like a lot more emotionally like aware and sensitive, and he can feel quicker when something's off, and he's not afraid to like process hard emotions, and he's really taught me a lot about just being okay with negative emotions and being realistic about things and acknowledging the ways I've been hurt and stuff like that. Just yeah, feeling your emotions, acknowledging them, and kind of processing them, discovering like why they're there, working through them, which has been really good for me, because if I just kind of like push away anything negative or anything that's hurt me, I think it does still like bottle up and accumulate, and then can kind of come out all at once, and then I have no clue why I'm like so sad all of a sudden. Babe, what would you say about that question?
I think you got it.
Yeah?
You're probably too kind to me, but yeah.
No. I think there are ways that we do need to be like intentional about looking for the good in situations. There's a lot in the Bible. A verse that I like say often to myself is, do not worry about anything, instead pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. There's also verses like, don't be anxious about tomorrow. Tomorrow can be anxious for itself. Today holds enough trouble for today, basically. So it's saying it's not good for us to worry about the future and carry around that anxiety. God gives us grace for each day, and today is enough to deal with. And then I also think of verses like, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is right, whatever is of good report, like think about these things. And there's other verses that say like, a joyful heart is good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. And I think that it can be physically pretty wearing on us if we are constantly anxious and carrying around a lot of burdens and stressing out about things and trying to control things that we can't. I think in a lot of like day-to-day smaller things, it's healthy to focus on the positive. Oops, somebody's here to buy something on Marketplace, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. That was the sweetest little family that came. They were buying James a smoker, and they came all the way from Wichita. They had twin boys and a little girl, and they were so sweet and like obsessed with the chickens. So we let them gather eggs and feed them some scraps that we had, and they were so sweet to Ezzy. Ezzy had a blast with them. James and the guy, his name was also James, just like talked about Smoker, and the lady was really sweet, and we just, yeah, had a fun time. They were sweet. But okay, now I really have to hustle with these questions because we have to leave in an hour. We have to be there in an hour for Dad's supper. Okay, so I don't know. Did I answer the question about being a positive person? I will just say, I know that there are times when you have anxiety and depression and it's a physical thing completely. It's a chemical thing. It's a mental thing. Like, it's not something you can control or choose. And like, I've actually dealt with a fair amount of anxiety. My dad has had anxiety, and there's like some of his family on that side have struggled with anxiety and need to take medication for it and everything. And that is so paralyzing and horrible. It's not like, sometimes when you're in the thick of anxiety or depression, you don't even have the energy to process or to like pray about the situation. It's just you're just surviving. And when I say like you need to take every thought captive and you need to focus on the good and don't worry about tomorrow, all of those things, I'm talking about like the little day-to-day decisions, how you relate with other people and the circumstances you find yourself in. Not so much the clinical depression or anxiety that can be so paralyzing and out of our control. But anyway, okay. So just going through the questions. Are you scared of going up and down those stairs with a baby postpartum? So I'm hopeful that it won't be too bad. The stairs are a lot more narrow and steep than we had anticipated. So it'll be a trick, but I think already like we're getting pretty used to them. I think I can hold the baby with one hand and hang onto the rail with the other, and I don't think it'll be a problem. But like if labor is super hard and I have a lot of physical recovery, I might just put a mattress downstairs and camp out down here for a couple weeks. But I think we should be okay. What's your favorite way to meet new neighbors? Do you usually take them food or flowers, etc.? If I'm being totally honest, most of the time I meet new neighbors just like when I'm taking out the trash or going to my car or doing something outside, and I just say, hi, are you so-and-so? Introduce myself, tell them we're so happy they're here, and maybe swap phone numbers or something. And then once you have somebody's phone number, it's really easy and natural a lot of times to build a relationship by just, you text them and you're like, hey, there's a package for you in the foyer I saw, or you want to come over for brownies or dinner, or we're having s'mores, or, you can invite them to stuff. But I feel like everybody's so different. Some people are like the dinner party type of people that you can invite them and they're so happy to come and hang out with people. We have other neighbors that are much more just like one-on-one. It's a little intimidating to be with a group. So it's much more like we could have coffee together or chat in the mornings, but not so much like coming over for like a dinner party with neighbors. I have done like baskets and baked goods and like flowers and stuff sometimes, and everybody always loves those. So I don't think you can go wrong with like meeting a new neighbor, taking them something you baked, or you didn't even have to bake it, like just fresh baked goods, or flowers, a little note, a little basket. Like you can't go wrong with that. I just don't do that as much as I wish I would. Some more questions about positivity. Dietrich, would you take a bullet for DJ Khaled? Probably not. Yeah, probably, if I'm just like being honest, probably not. But if I like think about it too long, like what I really should do, maybe I would reconsider. What is your current vision for your apartments? Okay, so the vision for the apartments has definitely like evolved and shifted depending on like the phases that we are in personally. When I bought the place, the vision was very much to provide housing for ladies that like were transitioning out of homelessness, trying to get their kids back, get over addiction, find a job, like all of those things, just going through a hard time and needed some stability. A lot of them, like the first step to getting back on your feet is just having an address that you can put on job applications, or having a friend that can drive you to job interviews or whatever. So when I first moved in, I had quite a few ladies living here with me, and we just lived in community, and they could live here for free, and we do budgeting together, and we do Bible studies and cheer each other on as they fought to get their kids back and find jobs, and kind of build the pieces of their life that they wanted. So that was very much the vision, and that's what it was kind of in the beginning. And then after I got married and had a kid, it definitely shifted because I didn't have the time and emotional energy anymore to go that intense with people. But we've always wanted the apartments to be able to help people. So like once we had Ezra, we started taking a few kids from Youth Thrive and letting them live here. Basically, Youth Thrive is a program that helps kids when they age out of the foster care system. So it's really, really tough for kids when they age out of the foster care system. If they don't have a family that's like adopted them, or they don't have any biological family around, they are really on their own. They're 18, fresh out of school, so they don't have like a job history. They don't have like savings. They don't have anybody to co-sign for them on a lease if they're trying to get a rental. And a lot of them just don't have jobs and don't have anybody to co-sign for them. So that was like a perfect fit for us because we really wanted people here that were needing housing but didn't have the time to invest like in mentoring them or budgeting or anything like that, helping them look for jobs. But if they were living here rent-free or like a deduction in their rent, we wanted somebody to be investing in them and helping them, like setting them up for success to where they could get jobs and eventually, be independent and rent wherever they wanted to. So Youth Thrive provided like the mentorship and the budgeting and the kind of support on that side of things, and then we could provide housing. So we've been doing some of that, and then also just been able to let people rent here that can't afford like market price. We can kind of match their budget. Or we've had different friends that have been in hard situations we've been able to rent to, or like people with addictions or PTSD, or some vets, things that make it hard for them to rent other places. We very much still want the apartments to be able to help people and give them a safe place to live when they can't rent other places. But I'd say, like, just in general, the larger vision is to create like a safe place to call home, and to build community, and to get to know our neighbors and be a support to each other and stuff like that. So that's kind of the vision for the apartments. Love story. Okay, so a lot of you guys ask about, can you share you and James's love story? How did you and James get together? There were a lot of those questions, and I feel kind of bad because I think on my stories, you guys had asked for this before, and I said I'll try to get James to make a video with me and share the story, and I never did. So hopefully I can still convince him, but I feel like it's way too long of a story to just say quickly here in this Q&A. So I'll see if I can get him to make a video with me, and we'll make it a separate video. But just really briefly, it was I feel like it was a little unusual. We had been friends for years, but never like really like liked each other in a romantic way. Maybe like a little crush here and there, but like when he asked me out, I definitely didn't have a crush on him. We were not even like, I think when he asked me out, like neither of us were like romantically attracted to the other. But he felt so clearly God was asking him to step into this, and it was wild because I don't know if I've ever heard God speaking to me so clearly about something before it actually happened. But when he asked me, I just wasn't surprised at all. Even though like he did not drop any hints. He wasn't like at all making moves before he asked me. But just the way that God was like talking to me about it and preparing my heart, I just knew it was going to happen. It was crazy. He messaged me and was like, hey, we should talk like about a relationship. And I was just like, shut up. Like it was like so wild that it was actually happening, because it was totally out of the blue. Like nothing had like led up to this except for just me personally. God had just very clearly been preparing my heart and like making me open to this. And so when he asked, I was kind of like, of course this is happening, but also like, wow, God really did just set this up so clearly. So dating was really hard. Just because we had the confirmation to start did not mean that like we had a green light from the beginning, like, yes, this is who you're gonna marry. So we were very different people, and it was rough, honestly. Dating, there were good times too. Sorry, I'm so distracted because James and Ezra are out just outside the window feeding the chickens and stuff. What was I saying? James and I are so different. We just had a lot to learn, like how to love each other well and understanding each other when we were dating. And it has been like so much better since we're married. I feel like we've had a relatively easy relationship, and it's been really, really good since we're married. But dating was hard because we were so different. And we didn't start off with like all the emotions and the attraction and all of that. So that's my brief synopsis of the relationship. But I'll try to get James to help me tell you guys the full story sometime. How is your current life the same or different than what younger you imagined it would be? If I'm being honest, I didn't really think I would still be Mennonite. And when I was really little, I definitely thought I was going to be on the foreign field, like live overseas doing mission work, which I still think would be really cool, but it just hasn't really, I haven't had like open doors in that area, and I felt God leading me to really plug in just where we are here. As a teenager, I definitely thought I would be living like in a big city somewhere. I love the big cities, and I love just living close to other people and being able to walk to stuff, and just all the options, all of the different like ethnicities and cultures and everything is really fun. But yeah, we're in a small town in Kansas, and honestly, I feel like living here at the apartments, we do get some of the same benefits, like rubbing shoulders with your neighbors, and where we're located in our town, we can walk to a lot of things, and we have a good airport close, so we can always travel. But those are like a few things that are different than what I imagined. Will you do a baby name but won't be using video? I love when people do videos like this. So I love talking about baby names. I think it's so fun. I would share all of my ideas, and like I would tell you the name of our baby. But James is a little more like private about that, and it is kind of nice to have a surprise when the baby comes. So I can't say too much, but a few names that we were going to use or were considering with Ezra but didn't use, I know we're not going to use them now. Levi and Moses. So Moses has always been like my celebrity crush, I guess, from the Bible. He was just a really cool dude. If you read, I first fell in love with him when I read Josephus, which was a historian back in Bible times, and he has so much interesting, cool info on Moses, and Moses was just like the coolest guy ever. And so I always thought it'd be cool to have a kid named Moses. But one thing I couldn't quite like get over is like, I didn't want to call our little baby like baby Moses, and I didn't really think there was any cute nickname for Moses, like Mo. I didn't really love, I don't know, if you just think of like calling a newborn or toddler Moses, I don't know, I just like instantly picture like a big beard or something. I don't know. I couldn't think of a cute name for him when he was little. Anyway, so we skipped Moses. Levi, I still love the name Levi, and it's a family name. So maybe we could work that in somewhere in the future. But like, I feel like we knew we would choose one of those three, Ezra, Moses, or Levi. We would choose one of those three and probably never use the others, because we didn't want to boom, boom, boom like Ezra, Moses, Levi. It just sounds so like they were all like really strong, powerful leaders. Kind of feels like in your face, like Bible. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with like naming all your kids' Bible names, but it's not totally our vibe. I think we have a more eclectic like vision for our kids' names. So yeah, we probably won't use those. Actually, I hope James doesn't mind. We have not named this baby yet, and we are actually really struggling to come up with a name. So I kind of want to read you guys my baby name list. And it would just, there was another question here that said, what would you call your baby name style? And I don't know. Like, I have always kind of like tried to come up with like a descriptive word for the style I like, and can't think of anything. Sometimes I try to like Google ideas, and I just don't even know what descriptive words to put in. So let me know in the comments if after I read this list, if you kind of like get a vibe or like a feel for the names. This is kind of risky reading this list, because the name of our baby honestly might be in this list. I don't know. The list is super unorganized, and it's like I started it when we got pregnant with Ezra. And some of these like we don't really like anymore. Some of them we would only use for middle name. Some of them we only like because like there's a family name or naming after a friend or something that we would maybe try to work it in somewhere. You know, it's just very random. Some of them are like repeated names because I would like pair them with sibling names and kind of, yeah. There's some in here we would only use if there would be a sibling named this or that or whatever. So, yeah, bear with me. I hope it's okay that I'm reading this. I'm just going to read it really fast without any explanation. And hopefully I'm not giving away any secrets. But here we go. Moses, Valentine, India, James, Sunday, Charlie, Jean, Billy, Flora, Ezra, India, James, Charlie, Valentine, Lois, Jean, which is actually my mom's name, but I think she has a really cool name. And if you'd have a little girl named Lois, you could call her Loie. You could call her Loie, which would be really cute. Flora, Jude, Lee, Charlie, Jean, Roman, Earl, India, Mary Jane, which was my grandma's name, Moses, Sunday, Ezra, Valentine, Psalm, Levi, Levi Blue, Holiday, Clara, Ruby, Jean, Lee, Billy, Jane, Ezra, Jack, Molly, Molly James, Juno, Scout, Frankie, Charlie, Billy, Luca, Luna, Millie, Ruby, Bonnie, Arlo, Ingrid, Jackie, Billy Jane, Jude Valentine, Ezra Soul, Goldie, Ruby James, Lennon Fleur, Ezra Soul, Sunday, Quinn, Margot Dove, Valentine, Sunday, Jude, Holiday, Psalm, Roman, Levi. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Come here.
I felt really bad having step in stickers, but
Sorry. You're barefoot.
It's just
You just
keeps
said it.
complaining and complaining. I can't find anything. You can look
sorry.
if you want.
Did you get stickers in your feet?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'll just hold you for a while and then I can help you get them out, okay? You just stay here with Mom, okay? Sorry. Can I see? Can you point to where it hurts? Oh yeah, pick that one off. Do you see that one?
Yep.
Good job.
Oh, better.
All better? Good. I'm so sorry. Do you want to make a little video with me?
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about names for the baby. Oh, but don't tell them if it's a boy or a girl.
Boy and girl.
Boy and girl?
Yeah.
You think we're having one of each?
Yeah.
We're not having twins, but...
Yeah.
Okay. Where was I? Velzy, Juno, Wells, Juno Valentine, Sunday, Billy Jane, Margot Dove. I don't know.
No.
Does that give you guys kind of an idea?
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of eclectic. I think I tend to like the old-fashioned, like classic, like really old names.
Hurt.
Yeah, Izzy got hurt. I'm so sorry.
I got hurt. Sugars and grass.
I'm so sorry. That really does hurt when you're barefoot.
Barefoot sits.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think I like the old names.
got hurt.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I did.
But you're brave,
Yeah.
right? You're a brave boy.
Oh.
It's gonna feel all better soon. I like the classic names paired with something that's more emotional
I did
and like.
I did cried.
You cried. You were
Yeah.
outside. You got stickers. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you came into Mommy, because Mommy can hold you. Paired with like maybe like a feeling or a color or like something just a little more unusual.
I need it.
You need it? Okay, just let Mommy see it though. Curious about all things pregnancy related, prenatal care, prep for baby, 2 with a toddler. So, I love talking about this. I feel like pregnancy wise, this pregnancy, I have just been really focusing on nutrition, taking a prenatal beef liver, Ningxia, and lots of protein every day. And then just trying to survive the migraines. Honestly, that's pretty much what I've been doing to support this pregnancy. And then, man, I should do a whole other video on this too. Why don't I do that? Like, prep for labor. Woo, it's starting to rain. Here comes Daddy. Hey, Dad.
Hey, is 6:15 okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we'll plan on that.
All right, see you then. You hung up on him so fast. Yeah, let me do another video on pregnancy-related, prenatal care, what we're doing. Maybe like things I'm going to do the same with the second baby and things I would do differently with the second baby, because there's quite a few of those. I love seeing people's videos of that too. Let's see. Is your last name Mast or Yoder? Confused. What's our last name? Our last name is Yoder. I think maybe my name is still Mast on Instagram. Mast is my maiden name. So I see why that's confusing. I should change that. But I am Yoder. How you manage to buy your apartments and what is your goal with that? So I did talk about the goal kind of already with the apartments. Just a disclaimer, I feel like I always need to say this because it sounds like so wild and crazy to buy an apartment building, but the market in Kansas is probably the most possible place to do that. Like one of the easiest places in the U.S. to do that. And especially when I bought, the market was really good, and both of these buildings were from older guys that were trying to retire, landlords. They gave me a good deal. I worked for years living at mom and dad's house as a photographer, as a nanny, doing design projects, like all kinds of different jobs, and saved up enough so that I was able to make a down payment on the place. And then we're still paying it off. So got a loan and I was working on it by myself. And then since we're married, James lives here and he's helping me with everything. So yeah, we're still paying it off. Let's see. What's another one? What helped you and James stay connected after Ezzy? That is a really good question. I would attribute a lot of that to James, just his intentionality, and like I mentioned earlier, him being like so aware, like emotionally and sensitive to like when things are off or if we're feeling a little disconnected. And I think there are things about having a baby that actually bond you more and build the relationship, because it's just so many new experiences that you get to experience together. It's like a huge challenge that you face together, and then lots of like little joys that you face together too. So I think it can really drive you closer together. This is so frustrating. I just like closed out the video and went to go stop the recording and it wasn't recording. So I think it must have like a recording limit. I don't know. So I don't know where it stopped. We answered all the questions. Did you want to stay here? Sit right up here so you're a little taller. And you can see Daddy out the window. I don't know where it cut us off. And we are, like I said, rushing off to my dad's birthday dinner just soon. So I'm just gonna like wrap it up here. And maybe I'll get to the rest of the questions later. This is literally the second time now that I've like answered all the questions and it hasn't been recording. So I guess I'll just figure out later where it cut off and then try to answer the rest of the questions later. But we kind of gotta go. Are you ready to go eat supper with Grandpa? Because it's Grandpa's birthday. Can you say, Happy birthday, Grandpa?
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for being here. If you hit the subscribe button, it really helps me out. We are not trying to be like big and famous or anything, but this is like a fun creative outlet for us, and a fun way to kind of like document our lives and capture the different stages. And it's a fun way to connect with you guys. So I do love it, and it's nice if I can get like a little kickback for my time. But you have to like get to a certain amount of subscribers before you can make anything on YouTube.
And you have a house sheet.
Yeah, you got stickers on your feet. So if you want to like this video or subscribe to the channel, that would be really awesome. But yeah, we will see you next time, next Friday at 5. Can you say bye?
Bye, guys.
See ya next Friday.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hi, guys. I got hurt.
So sorry.
Okay.
Ezra's okay.
How? Got hurt. And I got hurt.
What happened?
They got hurt.
How'd you get hurt? Did you step on something?
Yeah.
What did you step on?
Stickers on grass.
Stickers in the grass?
Yeah.
So scary. But you're a brave boy. Can you say bye to everyone?
Everyone.
Have a good night.
And good night.